Okay, so originally I had planned to review all of Silver Lining as its own solo video since it's the first two-parter we've had this season and it's the introduction of the 6th Ranger. However, after rewatching this episode a few times, I realized that I have way too much to say about it, so instead of making a 20-minute video where I mostly focus on this episode, I'm going to talk about these parts individually so I can better focus the reviews. So let's talk about the first episode of this two-parter, Silver Lining, Part 1. The episode opens with what appears to be an Armada spacecraft crash landing where a mysterious figure climbs out, beginning to walk towards the city. Meanwhile, Vakar unveils his newest plan, which is to overwhelm the city with hordes of X-Borgs since his commanders keep failing him, even though Levira and Damaris disapprove. At the school, the students talk about how the Earth was almost invaded, and one of the students says it's all thanks to the Power Rangers that it was saved, but Troy says that while the Power Rangers played their part, ordinary people decided to make a stand. After class, the Rangers are called in to deal with a squad of X-Borgs, but when they arrive on the scene, the X-Borgs have already been defeated. The team is then called to deal with another attack, but show up to the same results. The Rangers are confused about what's going on, and head to Ernie's to talk about it, where Gia bumps into someone while entering. Before they get too comfortable, though, the Rangers are called to deal with yet another X-Borg attack, but once again show up late to the party. The team helps some people who were at the scene and asks them what happened.
Oh, hey. Can you tell me what happened here today?
It was awesome. Those things started attacking.
We all thought we were goners, but then he showed up and saved us. Who did?
The Silver Ranger.
Who? The Silver Ranger? What?
As the group questions the idea of another Ranger, Vakar decides to send out a commander with a new plan to attack the city. The Rangers are called to deal with the attack, this time making it in time to find the new commander, Gorgax, with a squad of X-Borgs and a bomb. The team morphs, which are shown individually so that the episode can be padded out, and begin fighting. Well, I call it fighting, but really they play a game of keep-away with the X-Borgs and the bomb. Since their strategy isn't working, the Rangers go super and fight again, this time taking the bomb away from the X-Borgs and then giving it back to them as it explodes. Vakar goes back to his original plan of trying to overwhelm the Rangers with X-Borgs, which begin attacking the Rangers. The team does their best to hold off the X-Borgs as someone is seen training as an alarm goes off. In the middle of the Rangers' fight with the X-Borgs, a Silver Streak passes them and begins fighting, much to the surprise of the Rangers and Vakar. Yes, it is the Silver Ranger, who impressively takes out the whole group of X-Borgs by himself with his Super Silver Spear, which can change into a blaster. With the X-Borgs defeated, the Silver Ranger leaves the others to fight Gorgax, which they do after going galactic. However, Gorgax is protected by a force field, making him able to knock the Rangers back. After getting knocked around a few times, Jake charges Gorgax, accidentally striking the back of his collar, disabling the force field and forcing Gorgax to retreat. Vakar yells at Gorgax for running away, and once Gorgax leaves, Damaris says he will destroy Gorgax for his attitude, but Vakar stops him, telling Levira that he has a new plan. The Rangers talk about their fight with Gorgax at Ernie's and discover that striking the back of his collar caused the shield to be disabled. The team makes a plan to isolate the back of Gorgax's collar as they are called in to fight the monster again. The Rangers arrive on the scene in Super Mega Mode and notice that the back of Gorgax's collar has been reinforced before engaging him.
Your Highness, shouldn't we tell Gorgax to implement your plan?
No! My plan requires him to stay in the dark. I knew the Rangers discovered his weak spot and would target it again. So I ordered Levira to make it look like his collar had been reinforced to protect him, but I secretly had her put a surprise in there.
What?
It's the kind of surprise that goes kaboom when the Rangers hit his collar.
What? To get the Rangers, you'd sacrifice one of your top commanders?
To get the Rangers, I'll do anything!
That's actually a brilliant plan. Also, Damaris, why do you care what happens to Gorgax? Weren't you the guy who wanted to kill him a couple of scenes ago? Anyway, as the Rangers fight Gorgax, the Silver Ranger is watching unmorphed and somehow sees through Vakar's plan, stopping Jake before he strikes the collar. Gorgax blasts the Ranger's back, so the Silver Ranger takes him on alone. Silver is able to remove Gorgax's collar, causing it to explode. Vakar faints at the failure of his plan, and Silver launches a full attack on Gorgax, even using his Ranger Key to finish him off. After the fight, the Rangers follow Silver, asking who he is, and the episode ends with the Silver Ranger removing his helmet, immediately being recognized by Gia. When I first saw this episode, I really enjoyed it, partly because it was the first two-parter of the show, but once I actually saw both parts, I rewatched this episode and realized there were a lot of things that just didn't make sense, resulting in this being the weakest episode of the season so far. I realized that I said the exact same thing last year in the episode where Robo Knight was introduced, but Silver Lining Part 1 is a bad episode for completely different reasons. One of my complaints about Robo Knight's introductory episode was that Robo Knight seemed to come out of nowhere and the episode didn't really focus on him. That is most certainly not the case here, since the episode focuses entirely on the Silver Ranger and the mystery surrounding him. I really like how his face is concealed all the way up until the end when he finally reveals himself. It's a pretty effective mystery and something I don't think Saban has done since Zeo. However, this leads me to my first problem with the episode, since if they were going the mysterious identity angle with the new Ranger, then why, prior to this episode's release, did Saban put out pictures of the guy with his helmet off on social media? Plus, he was shown off at the KCAs literally a week before this episode premiered. I'm sorry, Saban, but the whole hiding the new Ranger's identity gimmick kinda doesn't work when the audience already knows what the guy looks like. But going back to the positives for a minute, I actually like the design of the Silver Ranger suit. The more metallic silver coloring balances really well with the black of the suit and makes him look pretty cool. But the helmet is a bit of a different story. With the Sentai being pirate themed, I think it's supposed to look like a bandana on his head, and they even design a knot on the back, but my biggest problem is that the visor is designed to look like sunglasses. The whole thing just doesn't look like Power Rangers to me. However, this is mostly where my positives end with the episode, since the rest of it seems sloppily handled into a big mess, and that's because the villain plots don't make that much sense. Vakar's first strategy of just throwing X-Boys at the Rangers seems not very well thought out, and when that doesn't work, he sends Gorgax, whose first plan was to walk up to the Rangers with a time bomb and just hope that they were holding it when it explodes. And then there's Damaris, who after Vakar actually comes up with a brilliant scheme, goes from this,
Neither his failure nor his attitude will be tolerated. I'll go and destroy him now.
to this.
To get the Rangers, you'd sacrifice one of your top commanders.
I think that line was put in there as a way to show how cold and vicious Bakar is, but Saban, you can't convince me that this guy is in any way as threatening as Brock when in the same episode you have him faint after his plan has failed. Speaking of, how did the Silver Ranger see through Vakar's plan anyway? He watches the Rangers fight Gorgax and then is like,
Wait, it just seems too easy.
okay, according to what exactly? Both Gorgax and the Rangers don't have any idea what's really going on, so what gave it away? This moment comes off less like the Silver Ranger was smart enough to see through Vakar's evil plan, and more like he read the script so he knew the collar was going to explode. Overall, this episode is not terrible, but compared to the other ones that we've had this season, it's pretty bad. While I do appreciate that the episode actually focused on the 6th Ranger this time, the rest of the episode isn't as well thought out, and I really hope that in the future we can actually get a 6th Ranger introduction that's actually good so I can stop calling these episodes the worst of the season. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.